Hey guys, welcome to our channel. So, excuse me, I just recently put out a video explaining how my binary code chart wasn't right as far as binary code goes. And I was just saying that by the time we put the binary code in there, we already had established the pattern, right? I mean, it was the last thing we did. And we already had potential quantum computer users found without any binary code needed, that we could throw it out. Be like, well, forget the binary code, we still got the pattern. And as soon as I put that video out, I was almost done with our next challenge here to decode. And I was on the research groups, and when I started to look at these research groups and started writing them down, these research groups went on for pages, and I started to see connections to our last binary code decode. Pretty extraordinary connections, to the point I was getting physically ill drawing them, and decided to stop writing and start doing this video. So what you had, and I'll provide Moneybags' video. Moneybags did a video about Soft&Dry, and it's changed from Soft&Dry, DRY, which, come to think of it, I remember the little loop on the bottom of the Y. So it was Soft&Dry, and now it's Soft&Dry with an I. All right. And he had mentioned that he felt that possibly a quantum computer did it or was involved in this one because of the side-by-side comparisons. It changed on the product, didn't change on the ad or what have you. So we decided to look at this and see what you could get. Now you're only dealing with two letters, Soft&Dry. And you can basically, soft will cross off anyway. So you got dry and dry. And dr is the same, so you cross that off, and you end up with y and I. We brought y and I down. That's all we're working with. And this wouldn't have been something I might have blown this off if Moneybags hadn't mentioned that he felt it was potentially a quantum computer for his reasons. And I thought about it, and I'm like, well, maybe. Let's find out. And so this was challenging and yet fairly quick to get through, I'm hoping. So YI, if you're coming through finance, YI ends up being 111 Incorporated ADR on the NASDAQ. And for those of you who think 2012 had something to do or was significant in the Mandela Effect, this company was actually founded in 2012. So there's that. Coming backwards, because that's all you have, right? So coming backwards, you have IY, and that is IY Financial Solutions, and they're a company based, I believe, in Africa. And so I'll provide those links, and that gets you through forwards and backwards in finance. Now, we hit genetics, and we hit YI, and that YI ends up being Yi Li, PhD. Now, he's at Jackson Laboratories, and she is at Jackson Laboratories, and she specializes in computer science and machine learning. So, about Yi Li, PhD, I pursued my PhD in computer science, specifically statistical machine learning, from 1997 to 2000 at National University of Singapore. During this period, I not only worked with machine learning theory, but also designed and implemented a new family of online learning algorithms to recognize the handwriting digits in MNIST dataset, and obtained the state-of-the-art performance that could be achieved by online learning algorithms at the time. So, and this goes on. She worked on microarray gene expression data, and so I highlighted this, guys, right here, because if anybody was going to be a suspect to have a to be operating on the quantum network, bam, you got one already. Now that's interesting enough. Coming back, you have IY, and that ends up being a mouse strain data sheet from Jackson Laboratories, which is the same place that this gal's at. So, got Jackson Laboratories both ways. That gets you through genetics. Now, coming forward, you have YI. In chemicals, you have Beijing Chemical Company. Beijing Cheng Chemical Company, excuse me. And coming back, you have IY, which ends up being IY5511HCI, and it's a chemical, right? Then you come forward in technology, and we're establishing the pattern here. I'm flying through this because there's something far more interesting coming up. YI equals YI Technology, and it is a computer vision company that makes VR cameras, and I researched that, and it's virtual reality cameras. It's kind of interesting stuff, but that's there. And coming back, IY is IY Technology, and they are a technology solutions company for small businesses, as near as I can tell. And then if you go forward random, YI comes to YI Technology right away. And that's the computer vision company that makes virtual reality cameras. And that's pretty much the highlight. And then as you come back, you have IY symbol on StockTwits. So a stock market thing. That's just random. And that brings you to research groups. Because that's our other category. And guys, this was crazy because I had just put out a video about my binary code chart, A0B1 and so on, and potentially throwing it out. We just did YSIDS SD on two princes. Well, this is interesting, guys. Research groups ends up being YI, and that's YGU at Washington State University, semiconductor nanostructures. Why is that interesting? Because up here, you had selected semiconductor research at 1001000 when I was trying to research against DI research, ended up with semiconductor research. And the page behind that, you end up with nanotechnology. Synthesis of nanostructured material. And that came up on our last decode. But let me just explain something. We did not shuffle the letters, and had we shuffled the letters, YI is in here. So we could have certainly got all these research groups out of our last decode as well, but we didn't, because that's, again, shuffling the letters. Well, here's a good example of why you'd be here a long time shuffling letters. And also finite element is they research a finite element, and that ended up being on our binary decode up here. Yes, experimental data for development of finite element. And these guys, it's right here with these guys. I'll provide the links, guys. I'll probably just provide my search, and you can go look for yourself at the WSU one. But finite element, it's there, and then you got YICUI, and that's a group lab, UKey Group Lab. It's Stanford University, and they study materials and science engineering. All right. Then Tang Yi at UCLA, biosynthesis and biocatalyst is what they study. Their research group as well. Yi Liu, Department of Chemistry, biosynthesis and inorganic chemistry. DNazyme and aptamer uh, based sensing and imaging agents, and functional DNA nanotechnology. And we had that back in our last binary decode. The one that we're not sure about because I didn't use the binary, I used a different binary code chart, but there, it's up there, it's in that. And so is YI. So guys, I don't know. I'm starting to lean towards maybe that is a layer of code. So we'll see, guys. Moving on, you got Yi Liu Department of Chemistry at Illinois University. Oh, that's the one I just read. Excuse me. Yi, I'm not kidding. Indiana University Department of Chemistry, and they're trying to develop functional polymeric materials. And you got Zhu Yi, University of Virginia School of Engineering and Applied Science. And these things go on. For these research groups, guys, I was looking at 3 pages of this stuff. Pan Yi Research Group of Nanjing University, and they study radical reactions of aryl alkanates in organic synthesis. Jun Yi, the Richter Abdo Research Group. They research their Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry, University of Oklahoma. And Mr. Yi Wang Research Groups, Imperial College London. Powder forging, it looks like, multi-scale modeling. Then you got Yi Wang, Menning School of Biomedical Engineering. And it goes on. These research groups go on. Yi Huang, Liverpool University, I think that's the one we just read. Malakarad Institute of Radiology Research, Biomedical and Chemical Engineering and Sciences at Florida Tech. They're a research institution. Yi He Laboratory of Organic and Microwave Assisted Chemistry. Dr. Yi Kui Q, I guess, Engineering, University of Southampton. Dr. Yi Shen, Department of Chemistry. They got a research group. So, and a lot of these are linking right back into some of this other stuff, medicinal plants case study. So that might be where it goes into other stuff. But yeah, literally at least 2 pages of these groups, guys. And then coming back, of course, was not as much. IY ended up being Incredible Years Therapeutics. So they're actually a research program, and they well supported by research evidence. The Incredible Years. So they obviously do research, and they're about parents and kids and stuff. I don't know what training series for parents and teachers, so I don't really know. But that's what you get coming back in research groups. And that literally gets you through going forwards and backwards in Soft&Dry through the letters. I'll provide those searches, and I'll try to make heads or tails out of what to do. But yeah, that stuff runs right back to this stuff, guys. And this was a whole different search, but YI is in there. And these binary codes we came up with off of our chart actually produced stuff that ties into our next search. It's Soft&Dry. So it's some more of that stuff that all ties together, and maybe it isn't so far off. That's but I don't know. I mean, but that's literally soft and dry through the letters. We got all the way through in all the categories except, I guess, translations, which I'll hit. There's only going to be 2 at the most, right? So that won't be that big of a deal. And then I'll put, next we'll put numerological numbers to that and see what we get. There's only going to be 2. And then we'll try the actual binary codes and see what we get, because there's going to be only 2 letters in my chart, or numbers in my chart, off of my chart going on there anyway, which is going to wind up being 2 zeros. So we'll just try to run the binary with this, do an experiment, see what happens. But again, the way these are the way these letters are running to this binary, and you consider that YI happens to be in these letters, just not side by side, so we never ran them together. And that becomes even more interesting. That means that this fella here, or this gal here, I keep saying fella, but this gal here, this computer science gal, was in both searches. We just didn't search it. And she's got the knowledge to probably have a under the radar quantum computer, even in this reality. So, excuse me, guys. I usually don't do this. All right, sorry about that, guys. I had to get the door, but yeah, a lot. What I was saying was this gal here, this computer science and machine learning, has the knowledge probably to have her own quantum computer. Nobody necessarily would even have to know about it. So that's interesting, and that's actually very interesting. And now it ties right back into the binary code that we got in our last search, which is even more interesting. Just the subject, or the subject matter therein. That's I don't know that that's a coincidence at all. I don't think so. I mean, that's looking awful fishy to be a coincidence. So anyway, guys, I'm going to let this video go at that. I apologize for running it long, but we got through it all. Next to go will be the numbers, and we'll see what we get. It should be interesting, but it's already fit the pattern, guys. We've already got a potential quantum computer user, probably more than one if you want to look at it. But the most interesting one to me is Yi Li, PhD, Computer Science and Machine Learning at Jackson Laboratory. So that's where I'm at with this. So thanks for all your thumbs up, thumbs down. Thanks for your comments, leads, feedback, and subscriptions. And thanks a lot for watching, guys. And for now, you guys have a great rest of your day.